Hi, everyone. My name is Dr. Pam Peak. I'm a physician, an expert in sports medicine and fitness, a member of the board of the American College of Sports Medicine, and most importantly, I'm a member of the 100 Club. This is the very first video podcast of the 100 Club. Now, you can find them on Twitter. Just scroll up there to 100 Club. And what's this all about? It's a bunch of men and women who really love to lift large objects. Basically, we love to do resistance training. We do plenty of cardio too, but we love fitness. And most importantly, we give 100%. That's where that 100 comes from. We love to inspire as we perspire. And this is the first episode of the 100 Club video podcast. Can't wait to share stories of transformation mentally, physically, spiritually. Remember, this is an ongoing journey. There's no end to this. So you're going to be hearing from people time and time again as they kind of give you updates on what's going on. And I can't think of a better person to start this all out with than Jason Cleats. Jason, welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Pan. Thanks for having me on. Proud to be a member of the 100 Club and proud to be inspiring others.
Absolutely. So Jason's handle is the Accountability Nation on Twitter. We're just basically a Twitter little tweeting family here, just building up mountains of new members daily. And you really surfaced as someone with an incredible story. And you're at a place in your life where it seems like, according to your tweets and your postings, that you really want to help people. So uh, I was taken with your story, and I want you to now share, how did you really start this whole journey with taking better care of yourself when you've had so many obstacles in the past? Now, this is really speaking to a lot of people who say, oh, it's too hard. Okay, wait a minute now. Then you need to listen to Jason. Jason, tell us about your early days.
So in 2011, when I was at my absolute highest weight, I was 538 pounds.
Jeez.
I had a pulmonary embolism and it blocked the flow of blood to my brain. I collapsed on my kitchen floor and I was dead for 7 minutes. That's where everything started. So along the way, I was able to knock a few pounds off here and there, get a couple little victories, but I would always slide back and go back to being a more dormant person.
Jason, can I ask you, were you, how old are you now, if you want to share that?
I am currently 44 years old.
Okay. So in the early part of your life, were you heavy?
I've been heavy for most of my life, dating all the way back to sixth grade is when I really noticed I was different than the other kids. I was pushing 198 pounds in sixth grade.
Okay. So, all right, that answers that. Does it run in the family?
Yeah, there is definitely obesity on both sides of the family, throughout my mom and dad's side.
Okay. So, for everyone out there, I'm going to put on my little doctorly hat here. You should know that the obesity gene um, is really everywhere globally. It actually is about 60% of the global population actually harbors the gene. So why don't we see 60% obesity? It's because in certain people, it just tends to manifest itself, especially if it seems like both sides of the family gave you that little genetic gift there. And so it makes it so much easier for you to not just put on 20 pounds, but for you to put on 200 pounds or more. And so that makes a lot of sense. So for everyone out there who has similar situation, whether it's one side of the family or both definitely is a guaranteed significant obesity, just know that there's hope. It's extremely important to know that there's always hope. And that's why Jason's here. So after that, that really unbelievable thing happened to you with the pulmonary embolism. What did you do after that? You said you spent some time. I mean, did you have an awakening? Did you have any kind of elevated sense that, whoa, this isn't working for me, or what?
I did, and I started to work on myself. I made some small dietary changes. I'd lose a few pounds. I'd feel a little better about myself. Then I would wind up going back to the couch, celebrating my victory, eating the bad foods again. I kind of fell into that same pattern over the next several years till we hit 2018. That's when a few things really started to change for me.
Okay. And what happened then?
So in the early going of 2018, I had already walked out on my marriage and I was starting to do things for myself. And one of those things I was doing was I was starting to hit the gym a couple times a week and making an attempt at fitness at that time.
Well,
I
but
wasn't
let me
making
let me grab you. Wait a minute now. Why did you decide to do this? It's really important to understand the aha moments here, because a lot of people kind of think about it, then they don't do it, then they think about it. What actually prompted you to make the big move to walk into a gym?
I looked in the mirror and I didn't like what I saw. And I thought to myself, as a person, I can do better. And I know I can do better. So that was the moment where I'm like, now is the time to do better. And that's was my aha moment.
It's
Is just
interesting
looking,
because you've looked in the mirror before and you didn't have that aha moment. So something else was going on.
yeah. Also at the same time, leaving my marriage, I was starting to really question myself and question everything that I had done in the past. So in that time frame, it started to change my mentality. I started to ask the hardest question you can ask yourself, and that's why. The why, if you can't answer that with the ugliest of truths, you're never going to flip that mental switch in your head to start moving forward, to do the things that you need to do for yourself.
So you went deeper this time than you've done before. And you were going to a place where it's like, I got to change. I have to change.
You're absolutely right. And this is a complete rebuild, not only physically, but mentally, spiritually, and financially. I am completely rebuilding my whole life the way I want to live it, and I'm making no excuses for that.
Okay. What was the hardest part of that whole transformation, as you were going through this point in your life? Because so many people out there are listening and they're saying, I was kind of there. And how do you get over the humps of quarter, kind of sitting back and saying, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it next week.
Well, I did spend a lot of time in that area, and then a day finally comes where I'm like, I've been saying I'm going to do this tomorrow, and I've put in a haphazard effort towards this. And one day I just decided today's the day. And I made that step through the gym door. And that was early in 2019. I made that step through and I made it a habit to continue to go to the gym. And at that time, I started to eat the keto diet.
Mhm. You
That
were
was
watching your
early.
carbs really carefully, and you were beginning to make that change. When you walk through the doors of the gym, it reminds me of a little saying, and that is, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And
Oh, yeah.
it's like a state of readiness. It's kind of cool stuff. So you walk through the portal, sort of like a
Yes.
gateway, in many respects. And, you're not alone. Tons and tons of people, who are looking to really change and up their life, walk through, the gates, as it were, to fitness and take themselves on. What was that like for you when you had that very first day?
That very first day was scary as hell. Um, Being a large person walking through that set of doors to the mecca of fitness, where everybody in the gym, or most everybody, is in phenomenal shape. And you walk through that door and you meet that person and you sign up and you get your gym membership and they help you out a little bit. They get you a little excited. And then you get into the gym, and the first thing you do is you go hit some cardio machines because you don't know what you're doing yet. So, starting out early, there's a lot of people in the gym that are there and they're willing to give you advice along the way. It's been probably one of the best parts of the whole process.
Okay, so you found, I mean, you were scared. Where was your fear coming from? What were you scared of?
My image that I portrayed as being a fat person, it's really scary to walk through that door to know that you're going to be in a room where you think a lot of people are going to be judging you. What you come to find out is nobody's there judging you. They're there to welcome you. They want you in that gym with them because they know that once you've made that step through that door, you have an opportunity to change your life. And they want to be a part of that.
It's interesting. In many respects, it's a judge-free zone because something else that I've discovered in my decades of working out and doing my thing. I'm a triathlete, but love my resistance training. Is that you don't know what the guy next to you or the gal next to you has gone through in their life. For all you know, they were just as heavy. And now here they are. You don't know anything about them until they share that. And when they do, most of the time, your mind is blown. You're like, what? You're kidding me. And then there's like this warm sense of connection. That's cool. Have you discovered any of that at the gym?
I absolutely have. One of the biggest things I've discovered is that everybody that walks through that door has a common goal, and that's to make themselves physically better. And that takes a lot of work and a lot of dedication. Each person that's in that gym has that mentality to put in the hard work and has the dedication needed to be successful.
That's so cool. So there you are. So how heavy were you when you walked through the door?
I was 538 pounds the first time I walked through that door.
Okay, so that was in 2019, right?
Yeah, because I had wound up putting most of that weight back on. Um, it was a yo-yo effect. So
Well,
when I walked through that door, I was over 519 pounds.
okay. So what happened between then and now? Because here we are, May 8th, and it's 2022. So we had a couple years there. What happened between 2019 and now?
So throughout 2019, I got really involved, and 2020, early 2020, I was in the gym 6 days a week. I had a really good routine, and then COVID hits. COVID shut down everything, unfortunately. And it shut down my willingness, it shut down my motivation, and it started a spiral effect in my life that I couldn't have predicted at that time.
What do you mean by the spiral? What happened?
So, as a public transportation employee, um, I was early on, I had gotten COVID at the end of March. I was hospitalized for a few days, and it took me over 3 weeks to get healthy from that. Into July of 2020, I was operating bus that night, and it was downtown Minneapolis. Somebody threw a lit firework into my bus window, while I was driving, and it exploded and gave me a concussion. I had a concussion blast. I have inner ear damage, and I also had whiplash from when I jerked my neck, trying to get out of the way of the firework and trying to move the bus to a safe spot.
Okay, so then you got treatment for that, and then
Yes, I
going
did.
forward, right? What
Yeah.
happened then going into 2021?
So throughout the rest of 2020, I was still feeling some lingering effects of the firework concussion. I was depressed. I was really spiraling out of control, and natural habit for me is to turn back to my food addiction. And ultimately, that's what happened. Um, at my lowest weight, I was 370 pounds. So throughout the rest of 2020 and 2021, I started packing back on the pounds that I had so successfully taken off of my body.
Okay. And then we finished up with 2021. So you're gaining weight and whatever. Now we're in 2022. What happened?
April 13th was the day that I decided I have the right mentality. I've had that mentality before. And today's the day that I change this. And I post my day one photo on Twitter, not thinking much of it. I was going to use it as my online journal. I didn't really have much traction on Twitter. This photo went viral. And when I say viral, it's over 120,000 likes. It has over 3,000 comments and over 4,000 shares. And that was my day one photo.
And
And
everyone out there, if you go to on Twitter at earbuds with a capital E, at earbuds_music, you could find Jason, even if you just put in Accountability Nation. And every member of the 100 Club puts the red 100 numbers on either side of their profile name. And so you'll see the hundreds there too, because he's giving 100%. So April 13th, why April 13th?
it was the day that I decided that I had had enough, and looking in the mirror once again, also looking at a picture that I had recently had taken of me uh, with somebody that I admire, comic Dave Smith, and looking at that photo, which is also posted on Twitter. So if you want to see that photo, it's out there. It was that moment that I'm like, look what I've done to myself. And I had grown from 370 pounds all the way back up to 424.
Okay, so
I
when you
wasn't,
walk through the threshold, you were 424.
that is correct. When I walked through the threshold on April 13th, last known weight at that time was 424 pounds.
How did you get hooked up with the 100 Club? How did that whole thing happen?
To be honest with you, um, over the couple of days after my day one photo, people started reaching out to me and showing me a level of support I have never seen in my life. And I get a message in my inbox from one of the members. And he asked if I would be interested in joining the 100 Club, which I said 100%, I'm all in. And it was one of the best moments of my life, where I have this jacked gym bro guy that
Oh, I know
that
exactly who that was, but we're not going to go there. Dookie, buddy. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Yeah, there's some serious gym bros in the 100 Club, and guess what? They're amazing human beings. And one of my heroes, also in addition, is Thora Strong. I mean, she's in there
yeah,
and she's terrifying me with all of her CrossFit stuff. But, were you surprised that a group that looks like that, all jacked up and, showing the stuff, reached out to you?
I absolutely was. My first thought reverts back to mentality. Like, what would a group of incredibly fit individuals want a guy like me to join their club?
Mm,
And I'm like, you know what? Let's do it. I'm all in on this. I'm all in on changing not only my mentality, but my physical being. So I'm like, let's do it. And that's exactly where that started.
I love it. So then what happened? Here you are in the gym.
So here I am in the gym. My first week since I posted my day one photo, and it started to go viral and I started to get a lot of attention. I'm like, okay, I'll keep posting these video or my days after I'm completed my workout. I also had this idea, well, I'm going to post a little video clip before my workout and just start talking about what I'm doing that day. And as the days have grown on, my following has gotten a lot bigger. The encouragement has gotten a lot bigger. And now I'm getting some of the best stories that I've ever had the honor and privilege to read on a daily basis.
Well, why are they so attracted to you?
The only thing I can think of is the personality that I hold and the way I personally prefer to hold myself as a person tends to come out on Twitter. I am a very positive person. I absolutely love hearing other people winning. I want everyone to win. And that's just the way I look at it from an aspect of life. We all have an opportunity deep within us to find what it takes to be that winner. And seeing other people getting inspired by what I'm doing is a life accomplishment. And I'm doing that in my 40s.
What are people saying? Well, in some of your favorite, responses to your postings, what are people actually saying? Are they saying like this is crazy good? This is impossible? How it's almost like here I am. Maybe I'm 20 pounds, over, and I'm feeling a little soft and out of shape and everything. And here's this guy who weighs 400 pounds, and he's just working out. So like, whoa, makes you kind of take a little step back and examine yourself. Have you seen any of that?
I absolutely have. I've had people send me pictures of showing their before and after for their successes, which was amazing. I have other people that have sent me their day one photos saying, I'm on this journey with you now because of you. And that is incredible. I'm rooting for every one of them to win. I want them to win because if you're a better person, that makes this whole world a better place.
Excellent. That's fantastic. And let's go back to, the 100 Club. So what have the men and women there, what have they done to help you?
They are some of the most inspiring people that you will ever meet. I am now personal friends with Dookie Butter, Coach Buddy. We talk on a regular basis via text messages. And there's other people that I now communicate with via telephone and text as well, like Boyd Myers, absolutely amazing human. That guy wakes up in the morning and runs his head through the wall just because he can.
Yeah, but Boyd Myers has gone through a lot. And if you obviously read his, pinned tweet, he tells his story. And the story is one of many obstacles in his life where he had to take himself on to basically throw down the gauntlet and say, I got to change. I mean, this is not working for me. And one of the things I find out there as a physician and an expert, not just in sports medicine, but my last book was about food addiction, The Hunger Fix. It's the whole issue of addiction. What I have found is that those people who take up fitness as part of their lifelong recovery. Because guess what? Newsflash, this is lifelong, right? This isn't like, oh, we're done. No, it's lifelong. All right. Until there's no breath left in you, you're rocking it and you're working the recovery thing. But fitness has an amazing way to be able to help you stay focused, right? Have you found that helping you with any addictive urges that you have with the food and all the rest of it?
Yeah, I absolutely have. Um, my diet used to consist of mostly pizza, fast food, and I would get a good meal on the weekends when I was at my girlfriend's place. And sometimes I would venture into cooking for myself, and I'd go a few weeks making good food and eating properly, and then something would slip, and then I would be back into my old habits. So, one thing I've noticed for myself personally is now that I spend so much time in the gym, I don't want to waste that opportunity by putting the wrong foods in me. So I've been able to change my diet and move forward in that aspect of my life as well.
Excellent. What if a naysayer came up to you and said, you know, you're going to quit this at some point? This isn't going to work. Same old, same old. Statistics are against you. What would you say to them?
I say check back in 6 months and see where I'm at.
Beautiful answer. The answer is the fact that you can sustain it. And you're young, you're 44. So what you're going to end up doing is constantly adapting and adjusting. What happens after the first 100 comes off? You adapt and adjust a little bit. Then the next 100. And there you have it. But the most important thing is that you just keep pushing forward, right? And take every single day a step at a time, because you know that the road to recovery is built on mindfulness, staying in the present, not weirding out about the shoulda, coulda, wouldas in the past, not freaking out about the future with weird numbers like, oh, by definition, I'll hit 198. No, bag all that crap. You just keep going forward and you just keep pushing through. Is that kind of where you're at?
That's exactly where I'm at. Everything right now is in my mental state, and I believe in myself more than I've ever believed in myself before. I wake up in the morning ready to go. The first thing I do is make my bed every morning. That way I've accomplished a task.
That's the
That
military way to go. That's right. No, seriously, the Marines say that. And every branch says that. If you can make your bed, honey, you're well on your way. Okay, now keep going. Let's go through the day.
Absolutely. So after that, the first thing I do once I head upstairs is I make my morning shake. I do a meal replacement in the morning, which is a plant-based protein powder. I do a peanut butter powder. I do collagen. I do MCT oil, and I take a shot of turmeric. And that's my morning. And I do almond milk within my shake. I don't do regular dairy milk. Uh, that's the start of my day. And after that shake is gone, it's usually getting drank on the way to the gym. Um, and right from there, I'm going into my first pre workout, which is a C4 powder that I mix in 8 ounces of water, slam it down. I do my morning video. I take a little time getting myself ready so that way the pre workout kicks in. And then it's time to go kick ass.
Okay,
And
now
that's
wait a
when
minute. Now you say you do a morning video. What's that about?
So when I get to the gym, I do a morning inspirational video of sorts. I just give a little update on how I'm feeling, some of the metrics that I'm looking at, what I'm potentially looking at doing that day. And then I try to give somebody a nice inspirational quote. And my video is done. I upload it to Twitter while I'm getting ready in the gym, and I get my mind ready to go out and attack the gym for the day.
I love it. And when you say attack the gym, what does that mean?
It's a mindset. The first thing I do when I walk out that door after I filled my water bottle is I find the first piece of cardio machine that I'm going to use for the day. And my headphones are in, my playlist is going, and I'm in the zone. And it's time to go after it. And I'm not leaving the gym till I don't feel disappointed in my workout.
That is fantastic. All right. And then how do you feel when you leave the gym when you're done? How do you feel? You clean up and you do your thing and whatever. How do you feel? Tell us, put us in your mind.
So as I'm powering down from my workout, I start thinking about what I've put in the gym that day, and thinking about, did I do proper form? Did I put enough energy into my workout today? And I'm thinking all about all that as I'm walking to a mirror to snap my picture, my post workout picture. Because if I'm not done when I take that picture, I'm going back in to do a little more cardio or to do one more lift or do something else to sustain myself till I feel like I've done everything I need to do for that day for myself while I'm in the gym.
Awesome. So here we are, like I said, on May 8th, and you started April 13th. How you been doing?
I've been doing great. Today was day 21. Unfortunately, I had a personal setback. I had to fight off a sinus infection, which I actually did use the gym to do. Uh, I spent a couple days sitting in the sauna, sitting in the hot tub, and just walking some laps in the pool. That way, I could still get some activity in and help move some of the infection out of my body by sweating it out. So with those 3 days, it set me back a little bit, but it was also a learning experience for me.
What's the learning experience? Because I'm all about life lessons. So, one of the things you're going to learn when you do the 100 Club is that you're going to have countless life lessons. Like, then we learned what? So, what did you learn when here you are tooling along and you had these great plans? I always think of the adage, man makes plans, God laughs. I think God was howling on this one. and here you are, you have an obstacle, but the obstacle is just like you're a human being. You got a sinus issue, whatever. But what did you learn?
The biggest thing that I learned is I can still shut myself down for a couple of days and I can come back stronger. My workout today was intense. I did around 30 minutes of cardio at a 6.6 incline, 2.5 mile an hour pace. I went and did my legs. Today's Sunday. Sunday's my leg day. So I cranked out legs. I also cranked out my core today. And then I took the opportunity to go sit in the sauna and sit in the hot tub a little bit before we had our conversation.
Excellent. So there's a beautiful saying. I'm like wall to wall sayings. I don't know, been around long enough to remember all these things. So Charles Darwin, the famous evolutionary biologist, sat back and one day he said, you know it's not the smartest who survive. It's not even the strongest who survive. It's those who can adapt and adjust who survive. So when life throws you little curveballs here and there, because that's life, then what ends up happening is, what do? Are you like frozen and paralyzed and freaking out like, oh my God, I got an obstacle? Instead, you realize that the obstacle is the way. And this is a golden opportunity to learn another life lesson. So you know what you did? You got an A+ in doing what I love to call adapting and adjusting, or A squaring it. You just A squared it right through that. And now what you do is just bounce back to where you were before as soon as you're ready for that. but also practice self-forgiveness, for crying out loud. It's like you had a sinus infection. You didn't do anything else. What you had was you were a human being, and stuff happens, right? And you worked around it. You did a workaround.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And the old version of me would have given up. I would have shut it down and been like, okay, this is that moment where it's telling me I can't do anything else. This time I figured out how to work around it, being able to adapt and look at it and attack it from a new angle actually helped me get through the sinus infection probably days quicker than what I would have normally have done if I would have just done nothing.
One of my patients once told me, this is somebody who had dropped about 150 pounds and sustained it for, I mean, the last time I looked was over 10 years. It's done really well. This is a guy who basically, developed this kind of attitude after having had a lot of adventures, just like you, just trying to get to that place in life and getting it right. He says, Dr. Pam, you know what I do? I wake up every day and I sit bolt upright in bed and I say, bring it on. Let me show you how I can adapt and adjust. Make it as hard as you want to. Bring it on. It's sort of like the way you challenge yourself when you're doing barbells or dumbbells or anything that you're doing. It's like, bring it on. I could do that. The same thing goes on in life. So, when you get that curveball, you just basically grow some more hairs on your chest. Women, you don't have to do this. Seriously, it's optional. And what you end up doing is just saying, watch me do a workaround. Just watch. Because what I'm not going to do is go backwards. Not happening. Does that make sense?
You're absolutely right. I mean, when it comes down to it, we're all organic in how we are. And one of the things I like to look at is we're all fluid like water. Water goes around obstacles. Water keeps moving. No matter what, water finds a way to keep going. I'm cool being like water. Water's an inspiration to me. Not to mention we're made up of a lot of it.
I love it. I love it. So if you have a really rotten day, you wake up and you're like, oh, I got a headache. And or maybe it's just like you were stupid enough to read the news, just saying it's getting a little ugly out there. Um, and who do you call? Who do you rely upon for support? How are you doing the support thing? Because no man or woman is an island.
You're absolutely right. And lucky for me, Boyd Myers has become a mentor to me. And Dookie also has become a mentor to me, Coach Buddy as well. And the 100 Club, I mean, we help each other out. We motivate each other to get out there and to get our work in. And that's been one of the best parts about being a 100 Club member is they're not going to let you fail. They're not going to let you fail yourself. They're also going to help hold you accountable, just like I'm holding them accountable as well. Coach Buddy put it out there and he said, I challenge anybody to try and outwork me. I took that as challenge accepted. Someday, somebody's going to say, I want to outwork Accountability Nation. And I welcome that challenge. Come at me. We got this.
I love this. This is fantastic. And I think, as we're bringing this to a close, what I'd like you to do is look right into that beautiful camera with that marvelous smile of yours. And this is not the last time we're talking. This is episode 1. We're going to be doing a whole lot of this journey with you. But at the close of each episode, I'd like to have you leave all of our viewers, listeners, a nugget of wisdom. So
All right.
what's it going to be today?
Today is the first step is the hardest. The first workout you take on will be the hardest workout of your life. The next hardest workout you take on is the one that you miss. And that's something that I'm taking away from the last few weeks. And one thing for certain, never leave the gym disappointed.
Okay, that's one of your favorite mottos. And if someone out there is on the brink, They're like, I don't know. He sounds really motivating and inspiring, but I don't know. What would you tell someone like that?
You got to find it within yourself before you can find it in somebody else. It's deep in you. You just got to draw it out of yourself, whether you have to scratch and claw to get to it, or you take that moment and you really self reflect and you go, you know what? I can do this. You know what? I am worth this. And you definitely are. Trust me, I was there. Now I'm here.
Fantastic. Well done. So, day 21, done. And done in one, as we say in the business, with tons of life lessons, to say the least. And for everyone out there, if you want to just scroll on over to the 100 Club, just go to at 100, that's the number, club, and then 100. So there's 100's always surrounding the word. So it's at 100 Club 100. And then if you forget that, just type in 100 Club 100 and you're going to find where all of us hang out. We love new members, love them. And so what we're doing is we're combining a lot of our efforts to be able to inspire as we all perspire together. And that's perspiring mentally, physically, and spiritually. We're all into this together. We love to be able to teach and to help you. So, Jason Cleats, you are absolutely amazing. Again, run on over to Accountability Nation. You'll see the hundreds right around it. And the key thing here, more than anything else, is to remember we're all here for you. No matter where you are, how old you are, male or female, whatever, doesn't matter. Diversity, everything. All we want to do is help. And that's the key thing. So run on over to the 100 Club, at 100 Club 100. And I am Dr. Pam Peeke. That's Peeke. You can see my Twitter as well. You'll see I cross pollinate with the club all the time. We just keep teaching and having fun. And Jason, you are absolutely front and center in so many of my readings as I look at Twitter. Thanks so much for everything that you've done to be able to help educate and support other people. And most importantly, be so real. Thank you, Jason.
Thank you, Dr. Pam. It's an absolute privilege to be able to have a platform to do such things.
Excellent. All right, everyone out there, be inspired. Start perspire. It's all good for you. Love it. Mental, physical, fitness. That's what we're all about. Bye.